Hello friends, this is Chartered Accountant Pawan Sharma. First of all, I would like to thanks Pune ICI for giving me this opportunity to share my views and explain the process of doing the registration of Chartered Accountants firm under Udyam Aadhar registration. So we'll start with the process. So this is the website. So first means the website name is udyamregistration.gov.in. So for those who have not yet registered under Udyog Aadhar earlier, so now they can apply under Udyam registration. So this is the first option they have to select. Once they do the Aadhar and PAN verification, means Aadhar, you have to write down the name. The name has to be as per the Aadhar name. After doing this process, the validation and generation of OTP. Once it is done, then next process. Once you do that, this page will open. Now you have to see this first part is the first basic question is, have you filled the last ITR? Why the question is because as per the notification issued by government on 26 June 2020, it is clearly specified that if you have filed the last ITR, then your investment in plant and machinery will be taken according to your last ITR. And if you are registered with GST, means the second question like 4.3, they ask, do you have the GST? Yes or no? Why they are asking? Because if you say yes, then your turnover will be taken from the GSTN portal. Or if you are not registered with the GSTN, then it will be self declaration, right? So once you select this, then name of the enterprise, the name of the entrepreneurs, then mobile number, then email ID, then categorization of ownership of the MSME on the basis of, it is most important, it was not there earlier, this tab was not there earlier in Udyog, now it is updated in Udyam. So what they are asking, what is the percentage of share, member or contribution of the amount? So in case of proprietor or HUF, it is not relevant, but when it is relevant mostly, because let's say in case of partnership, example 3 partners are there, but 2 belongs to, let's say example, OBC category. So 2 divided by 3, it's more than 51%. So obviously the category of the entrepreneur means the entire business organization will be classified under OBC. Why? Because more than 51% of the partnership, 51% of the share belongs to the OBC category. Same way with cooperative, same way with private limited companies, same way with public limited. So this is how they have done the categorization. Next part, social category you have to select on the basis of the chart given above. Next, gender, specially able, Divyang, yes or no. Point number 11, the enterprise name. So you have to write down as per the PAN, means it's clearly written, would be same as that mentioned in the PAN. Next question is point number 12. It's clearly written, one more note, that point number 12, that is the location of plant. It is to be as per the self declaration if you are not registered with GST. If you are registered with GST, then it should be same as per the GST certificate, right? Once you write down all the details of your location like the flat, premises, village, pin code and all the details, you have to click on this add plant. Again, official address of the enterprise. Once you do, obviously in most of the chartered accountant cases, both point number 12 and point number 13 will be same. Next, point number 14, if you were having Udyog registration earlier or EM2, then you have to write down the number here. Point number 15, status of the enterprise. What does this means? Means what is the date of incorporation? Next, have you commenced the business or not? Means if you are done with the commencement, yes, then write down the date. If no, then there is no requirement to write down the date of commencement. Next, point number 16, bank details. You have to give your bank name, IFSC and account number. Next is, what do you do? Means manufacturing or services. As we all know that traders are not eligible to register themselves under MSCB. So for chartered accountants, it's obviously services. Next, search NIC code. So there are two options. If you know the NIC code, then you can directly write down here. Or if you don't know, then you can directly select this services tab. Then this page will automatically gets updated. Now you have to select like from the drop down list. So in this, I'll tell you 69 is the applicable point, means which says legal and accounting activities. Once you select this, next NIC 4 digit. This is the first 2 digit. Now next 4 digit is accounting, bookkeeping, auditing, tax consultancy 6920. Then next NIC 5 digit code. This is, we can select both the things because chartered accountants do both the things, tax consultancy also plus accounting, bookkeeping and auditing activities also. So once you select this, then add activity, then again you have to select the second part. Right now we are done with first part, then we can do this again, add more activity. Then I'll wait, again I have to select these services. Next again 69, then again 6920 we have to select, right? 69, then again 6920, then the fifth digit is tax consultancy. Once you add, both the services will be added, both the NIC code is added in the registration. Next, number of person employed, you have to write down according to the category, male, female, other. So this is point number 19. Point number 20, most important, the investment in plant and machinery, because the category micro, small, medium depends on the investment as well as your turnover. So this if you have filed your last ITR, this will be taken from the last ITR. If not, then it is self declaration basis, so you can write down here. Then point number 21, simple turnover, same, if you're registered with the GST, then it will be taken from the GST portal. If not, then self declaration, you can write down on your own, right? Then point number 22, are you interested to get yourself registered under GEM portal? So this is most important part. Most of the chartered accountant firm are not yet registered with GEM portal. So if you select this yes, then this MSME portal will automatically register. Or you can do one more thing, this is the website of GEM portal, you can register yourself separately also. So once you go with this, then sign up, then select the seller option, then you can fill the form, OTP and every form, the basic part is there. Then once it is done, your firm will be registered under GEM portal. What is the benefit of registering your firm in GEM? Because most of the government organizations have the requirement that they have to purchase, they have to procure the services and purchase the goods or services from the GEM portal only. Means minimum percentage is already decided by the government for the government organizations or public sector enterprises that they have to go with GEM portal only. So this is the added advantage. And next point is, are you interested to get registered on TREDS portal? What do you mean by TREDS portal is? So this is the website. There are a few TREDS websites which are already registered with RBI. What they generally do, the basic objective is whatever the receivables are for the service industry. So example, in our case, we chartered accountants have receivables from our client for the audit services or for any other services we provide. So in that case, means this will be, I'll give the basic idea of this, right? One big factor, it's clearly written that one big factor which affect the ability of MSME to convert trade receivable into liquid fund. So this portal, so this gives the advantage of converting your receivables into your liquid funds. So they basically do the discounting, right? They do the discounting of your receivable. This is the TREDS portal. So if you select yes, obviously, so this will indirectly register your firm into that TREDS portal as well. Then so choose your DIC. So simple, Pune. Example, if you are registering in Pune district, or this depends on your address basically. Once you write down your address in the point number 12 and 13, automatically, let's say I select this Pune example here, automatically Pune will be selected in point number 24. Once you're done with this, at the end, submit and get final OTP. Once you submit everything, the Udyam registration number will be shown, and that will be the final process. After a few days, means they the government portal, the Udyam registration office, they do verification of your all the things which you have filled in the application form. Once you once they are done with the verification, then you can do the print certificate. Once you have the Udyam registration number, just write down your Udyam registration number here. Means you can download your certificate from this tab. Once you do this, OTP will be given on mobile or email. Select this, validate and generate. That's it. Then you can get your registration certificate under Udyam registration as well. Thank you so much.